Well, DynamX, I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. It might even be Sunday for you, depending on where you're at in the world watching this right now. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I wanted to share with you a quick story about what changed my life when I was 18 years old. I can remember back when I was, 16, 17, 18 years old, growing up. I went to Houston High School out in Big Lake. It's like 40 miles south, maybe 50 miles south from where I'm at now. And I remember trying to figure out, right, what do I want to be when I grow up? Okay, what am I interested in? What am I talented at? Still trying to figure things out, and really not having a ton of direction and purpose. We were in a small school, and so there wasn't a ton of kids there. There wasn't really anyone dauntingly successful around me. There wasn't a ton of that going on. And so I was thinking, all right, well, I need to figure out, what am I going to do when I grow up? Do I go to college? Do I join the Air Force? What do I do, right? And so there's a lot of, I would say, a lack of direction there. Now, around the age of, I would say, 14, 13, 12, in that zone somewhere, I was really into basketball. And I remember going to Houston. I think one of my buddies actually might be watching from my high school. What's up, Travis? We were terrible at sports. Terrible was an understatement. We didn't win basketball games. We didn't win football games. We were not good at sports. And so I would get frustrated. I remember playing team sports. I was always the kid that worked out, 1 or 2 times a day, ran the fastest, tried the hardest, and we would still lose. And it was just a pattern, right? And I remember getting frustrated with that. And so around the age of 16 or 17, I found bodybuilding. Okay, and in bodybuilding, what I loved about that sport was that it was dependent on my own results. It was dependent on my own actions. And I would not have found bodybuilding if it wasn't for a mentor. So around the age of 16 or 17, there was a teacher at my school that used to work out every day in the gym. And I would see him in there, and I looked up to him. I was like, man, I want to be jacked like that guy. I want to be buff. I want to be, able to lift weights. That interests me, right? And so what I started doing is I started working out every single day. I had probably two weight training classes a day in high school, and I would do that over and over and over. And if I didn't have a mentor that pointed me towards that, I would not have found that. Okay, now, the result of that, I think in 2012 maybe, I won Junior Mr. Anchorage here at a local bodybuilding show. That was an awesome achievement for me, right? But I wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for a mentor. Now, after high school, I continued doing bodybuilding. I surpassed that mentor, and I was in a place where I didn't have a mentor again. Okay, I had passed the last one up, and I was looking at what am I going to do next, and I didn't have anybody that was already there or was doing anything I was interested in. And around that time, I found somebody in business that was a mentor to me. Okay, lived out here in Anchorage, ran a financial services business, very successful at that. Guy made close to $500,000 a year, and he took an interest in me, and he was really the one that got me started and interested in personal development. Okay, and again, if it wasn't for that mentor, I would not have had that interest, because the way I see it, in order to be interested in something, you have to be able to see a living example of it for you to conceptualize what it could look like for you. So I'm not going to be interested in something that's esoteric and made up. I'm going to be interested in, man, that guy drives the car I want to drive. Man, that guy controls his schedule the way I want to control my schedule. Man, that guy has the house I want to have. Those are the kind of exterior things I would see to become attracted to somebody in that way and say, hey, I think I want that guy to mentor me. And so I started mentoring with him. And so what happened was I took off on personal development. At the time I was delivering pizza. I was probably 18, 19 years old, delivering pizza. And I would listen to personal development audios probably 6 to 8 hours a day while I drove for about 2 years. Okay, imagine 6 to 8 hours a day of Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Dave Ramsey, podcasts, all the different personal development people in that space. And I was just pumping that information for 2 years. And that one mentor turned into probably 5 or 10 mentors that I would listen to on a daily basis. And really what that did for me is it opened me up to a whole world I probably never would have come across if it wasn't for that experience. I didn't have people like that in my life growing up. So if I didn't have it on the outside, it would never have occurred to me that that's something I could participate in. And so the reason why I share this is a lot of the progress I've had throughout life has been because of having different mentors, different people to look up to, different people to study under. And you guys know that I have a nonprofit organization called Operation Reborn. And really the main thing that we are offering to the youth is mentorship. So we work with the youth here in Anchorage, and our goal is to help create educated and successful employed youth who are able to go win at any track they pick in their lives. They're able to, like, they have the data that if they wanted to go to college, they would win at that because we mentored them. If they wanted to start a business, they would win at that because we mentored them. If they wanted to, pursue maybe a career in art. Okay, I'm not an artist, traditionally. I would say some of my business I consider to be art, but they would win because we mentored them in that. And so that's the goal with Operation Reborn. And without a mentor, it's hard for you to get outside of your own world and see outside of what you're currently doing, because you're just so used to the same stuff. You're so used to seeing the same people, the same things, the same results. And once you get a mentor that truly is above you at something, they're better than you and you're not going to surpass them. That's one of my issues I've had, is I've always surpassed my mentors. I haven't had one yet where I personally one-on-one mentor with them where I didn't end up beating them. And that's a struggle. Like, you got to be able to find people like that. I've found mentors from afar that you can't surpass because they're dead, right? That's kind of what I had to resort to. But that's what we're trying to do with Operation Reborn. So guys, real quick, I'm heading into my office. You got to excuse this nasty staircase we're walking down right now. I'm going to drop a link in the comments. So if you check out this link, this is going to give you some data on Operation Reborn and really what we're doing for the youth here. And so I want to encourage you to check that out. If you would like to be a mentor, if you are in business, if you're successful at something and you would like to spend time mentoring the youth with us, I want you to reach out to me. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to talk to you soon.